Hey, welcome back. We got our regular Thursday night review, but with a twist. And so let's just get right to it. All right, we have the two of the past winners of the Bourbon Bar Fight series. We have Baker 7 over here and Widow Jane over here. I think after doing those, they came out on top. I know I've reviewed these before, but I would like to put them side by side, and we'll just call it like a cage match or something here between these two. Because, you know, reviewing bourbons alone, it's good to do, to get familiarize yourself with the bourbon, familiarize yourself with the notes, dissect it for, color, legs, finish, all that type of stuff. But sometimes you need to put them side by side like this. So that's what we're doing today. And I've never put these particular two side by side. So we are going to do it. First, let's look at the color on these. Very similar in color. Extremely close in color. Baker 7 is Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 107 proof, aged 7 years, 8 months. Widow Jane, aged 10 years in New American Oak barrels, pure limestone mineral water, batch 215, bottle 127, 2020. It's 45.5%, 91 proof. This one up here, 107. Okay, so 91 proof and 107 proof. Okay, now let me shake this up a little bit, get some air in it, and we'll start checking legs on these things. All right. Now, both of them made a good solid ring around the top, and they're starting to form beads on there. Sometimes it takes a couple of times to really get them to start giving up the trails. There they go. We'll see which one's thicker. Boy, they are close. Slow runs. Yeah, really close on the trails. So, a little more aging. Very similar in color, very similar in oils. That's probably why they won, because an oilier bourbon, the ones with the thicker beads running down the side, we call it having bigger legs or thicker legs, tend to coat the tongue better, gives you a longer finish. Boy, that's punchy. That's one thing about Widow Jane. It's a little punchy on the nose, but it smooths right out. Got the caramels, apples, things like that. Little spice notes in this one. A little more. There's still some spice notes in Baker's. Probably a woodier note. More of a fruity or dark fruit over here coming through. So let's start tasting these things. I really do like that bourbon. It's a really, really good bourbon. It tends to coat really well. You get some oaky notes off of it, but that sweetness across the center of the tongue and that fruit in there, it's really good. And it's more of a apricot-y, or peach cobbler type fruity notes. But I don't always like to give a lot of notes off that first sip, so I'm gonna go over here and then come back. Sweeter, okay? When you do them side by side like this, you can really tell which one's sweeter and which one's not quite Widow Jane is a well-balanced bourbon. And it's, even though it's a little punchy on the nose, it's so silky on the tongue. It's a different sweet over here. And it's not even like, you know, honey or molasses or anything. These are fruity sweets here coming through. Like a natural, very ripe fruit sweetness, but over here it's been baked down. There is a wild honeyness to that on the finish, just a little bit. Some minimal type bready notes in there as well. Widow Jane though, whew, that's a ninja. I know we talked about this in the bar fight of who would win. That's a very, very focused bourbon, you know, and I would put it akin to someone, not that Baker 7's going to run in flailing with his eyes closed or anything, but this is a boxer over here. This is someone that's been there, done that a few times, and is going to be very calculated with their moves and their punches. But even with a little more experience, this is a heavyweight right here. May be able to just rush in and overpower them. This is a tough one. This is a really, really tough one because I'm trying to discern how many more notes am I getting over here? How much more complexity, how much more balance? I mean, because you can have complexity without balance. And I just think Widow Jane has a little more balance across its notes, which it is slight, but this one over here has some strong notes coming through and a depth of notes. Man, they're both so good. So good. I think they shouldn't be on opposite sides. I think they should team up and do the tag team match thing. If I had to pick a winner, the finish is longer over here. The flavors are more balanced over here. So, of course, this is 107 and this is, what did I say, 91 proof. So the warmth is with this one over here. The coating of the tongue is about the same. They both have decent finishes. This one's just a little longer, but is that finish like as good? There is something in the finish of this one. It's a little sparky. I don't know how to explain it. It's a little bright or something that I'd rather it, if this one tapered off on the finish and just got warm and dark and just stayed down there, but something bright pops out on the finish of this one that it's not off-putting by any stretch of the word, but I think I enjoy the finish on this one. I wish this one had a longer finish. That's what I'm trying to say. I wish Widow Jane had the finish of Baker 7 with the flavors of Widow Jane. This is dangerous over here. This one, I think you could, start to get fatigue on it after a little while. I think this one is more like a marathon runner and this one's a sprinter or something. I am coming up with every analogy in the book here. I'm trying to pick a winner, and I just don't have one. I think they're on equal footing. I think they're just different bourbons. And I think that's okay. I think if we're going on a scale of 100, these both would be in the 90s, and I think they would probably get roughly the same score for different reasons. I think I would probably give them both a 94, 95, somewhere along in that range, probably maybe 94, but I think they would both get the 94 here because of the legs, because of the color, because of the aging, because of the complexity. This one just a little more balanced. This one's just a little more better in certain areas on the finish and things like that. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Sorry I couldn't give you a clear note here, but that's why I wanted to put these two against each other, because apart they were dominating, and together they're standing shoulder to shoulder. So as always, please like and subscribe, hit the bell down there for notifications, share me out, and I promise I'll keep making these videos.